Hello, everyone. Mike Garrick here. Thanks for joining us. We may get a few other people coming in, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and get started. Again, my name is Mike Garrick. I'm one of the mobile solutions specialists here at Give, Buy, Sell. The objective today is really to keep this short and sweet. And we're going to try to keep this under 30 minutes or so. But we will stay on a little longer to answer any additional questions. Please feel free to use the chat feature to ask your questions. I have Casey here. He's our customer success manager, so he's going to be managing that and helping us out. I do have a few slides here, but everybody can breathe easy. I will not be going through all of these. I don't want to put you to sleep. I just want to touch base on a few of them, pretty much just to help frame the conversation. We have our guest speakers today. We have Taylor Ross from the Westport Country Playhouse. Let's see if we can get Taylor to say hello. Hold on one second. Taylor, are you there?
Hi, everyone.
Hey, hi, Taylor. Thanks for joining us today. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So we're going to circle back around to Taylor in a few minutes, and she's going to tell us her story and her experience. The other guest speaker that we have is Sean O'Donnell from the Steve Rumler Hope Foundation. Sean, there?
Hi, everyone. Yes, I'm on.
Oh, perfect. Again, thanks for joining us as well.
Oh, thank you, Mike.
All right. So, like I said, I'm not going to go over all of this information here. I want to kind of just give you maybe the 15, 20-second bio on who we are. We've been in business for 10 plus years. We actually started off in the museum space. So if you've been to a museum as of late, you may even have used our audio tours or our smartphone tours. But long story short, our museum clients came to us and they said, hey, we have a lot of visitors coming through here. Is there any way your mobile platform can help us increase memberships, raise money? And mind you, this was 8, 9 years ago, so this is before text to donate was really so commonplace. Fast forward 8 or 9 years, we've pretty much become the #1 provider to charities and nonprofits for mobile services. We have over 4,000 clients that have used us for their fundraising efforts. Many charities started off using us just for using the fundraising thermometer or maybe the mobile donate. But there are an awful lot of other services that you may want to think about. Other services such as our text messaging engagement, our mobile websites, and those are things that we all can have a discussion about at another time. But just to briefly touch base on what these are really briefly here, the fundraising thermometer is pretty self-explanatory, but the main purpose of it is to really just bring some excitement in the room. If you have, you're in a gala or a dinner or whatnot, and just imagine if you're at the table and the MC says, hey, we appreciate you guys coming out. We appreciate you supporting us. Everybody get their phones out. Now you're sitting at the table. This MC just did the call to action and everybody takes their phones out. So it's kind of, we're playing on the gregarious nature of people, and it's more of a positive peer pressure because you see people on their phones and you not only see them on their phones, you start seeing their names on the fundraiser. So it's a fun little thing to do that it's just a really great tool to be using. The platforms are mobile donate, mobile pledge, and mobile give. And just to touch on those briefly, the mobile donate is basically text in, say, 123 to 56512. You'll get a customized message that you'll be able to put whatever language makes sense for you there. And those get sent off, the donors will click on it and they'll get sent to a mobile website where they can either put in their PayPal or credit card. Very simple. Again, those are things that we can get into later in terms of how granular and the reporting and things of that nature. The mobile pledge is pretty much exactly what it is. So a lot of our clients will use a combination of mobile donate and pledge or mobile donate and fundraising thermometer, because you're going to get maybe 10%, 10, 15%, that maybe for whatever reason, they're not going to do the mobile donate. They're not going to do the PayPal or credit card. So they'll use the mobile pledge to allow other people to still participate. So yes, it does require you picking up the phone and give them a call, but if somebody's willing to donate $500, $1,000, $2,000, that's a phone call worth making, okay? Mobile give is basically, again, no PayPal or credit card needed. It's a very quick and easy option. There are some restrictions, and those restrictions are set up through the Mobile Give Foundation, which is a great organization that basically allows somebody to text in, they receive a text back, and long and short of it is, the donors will be billed on their phone bill. Again, you are restricted to $5, $10, or $25. Those are the requirements set by the carriers and the Mobile Give Foundation, but it is a great source. If you use it properly, it's a great way to get quick revenue and to make it very simple, okay? What we have learned, again, having 4,000 plus clients, and pretty much everything we've learned is come from our clients, is that when you're doing an event, it's not the time to be timid. People are they're there to support you. So your call to action is really important. Yes, you should have maybe some signage on the table. Yes, maybe you should have some signage when people first enter, but the call to action and the interaction between the stage and the people in the audience is really important. Thank you everybody for coming. We really appreciate you supporting us. We have this new technology that makes it very easy for you to participate and donate. Everybody take their phones out. So it's literally just having that enthusiasm, not being timid, and having fun with it. It doesn't have to be that serious. Our clients have really embraced the fact, or some of our most successful clients have really embraced the fact that mobile fundraising, text to donate, is not just something that you do at an event. It's something where you put your primary keyword and you try to put it everywhere you possibly can. Okay. Again, when you first start off, maybe you may not do that, but you'll get better and better at it as time goes on. So what I mean by putting it everywhere is, for example, direct mail, your email, your website, your social media, but also leveraging your volunteers. Letting your volunteers and your advocates know that there's this option for people to donate. So when they're on their social media network, when they're at your event and they're taking pictures and they're taking selfies, because I can't even go to a restaurant or an event with my wife without her taking a picture or selfie. So you want to allow people to do that, post that on Facebook, and also tell them, hey, feel free to let everybody know to text HOPE to 56512. You may say, why would anybody put a text on a piece of mail? Why would anybody put a text to donate on their website? And what you're doing there is you're making the decision for them as to how they want to participate with you. Your main goal is just to give them the option. And that's really, if there is any big secret, the secret is letting people know that there's an opportunity to participate. That's incredibly easy. It's kind of fun too. And you use your phone, and guess what? You're using your phone all the time anyway. So let's make it simple. You're going to put it on your mailers, your postcards, you're going to put it, actually, one of our clients, they send out their letters, but right on the envelope, on the outside of the envelope itself, they'll put their keyword, text, whatever, HOPE to 56512. So it's about the secret is embracing the way people are communicating. Okay. Let's see here. Obviously, your social media, you want to have that as an option on there as well. Your emails, always make sure that you're mentioning that. Either have it in your signature line, have it in your headers, things of that nature. Your website, you definitely want it on there. I can't tell you how many times I've sat on a call with somebody, and I go to their website, and not only is it hard to find their donation page, they obviously they don't use their text messaging as much as they should. So you can't even find their donation page. So you want to make sure that it's very obvious. And again, you're not making the choice for people. You're just giving them the option, but you're making it ridiculously obvious for them to do that, okay? Another thing that we've learned is that our clients are trying to reach more and more with younger donors, especially academic institutions. They want to start reaching out more to their millennial alumni. Millennial alumni, they're not going to write a check. They're communicating, they're already receiving money from their parents via their mobile device, and they're sending money back and forth to each other. So the point is this: just communicate the way people are already communicating. They are very used to it, used to that. As for the older generation, maybe the baby boomer generation, yes, if this was maybe 5-6 years ago, it would be a concern. But more and more baby boomers and older folks, it's pretty much becoming commonplace for them to send texts, because they're FaceTiming, doing Facebook so they can see their grandkids. They're also sending texts and communicating that way. So not only will you be able to engage folks through our text messaging engagement side, obviously it's very easy to use the mobile donate, and the older generation are able to use that as well. So again, I wanted to keep this as short and sweet as possible. I want to just kind of give a brief overview, but let's kind of get to our guest speakers here. And I'm going to see if we can get Taylor back on here. Taylor, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right. So Taylor, you are with the Westport Country Playhouse. Can you tell us a little bit about your organization, what you guys do, what your role is there?
Okay, so I am the Corporate Relations and Special Events Manager at the Westport Country Playhouse. We are a theater located in Westport, Connecticut, and we do educational programming. We put on shows about 5 times a year. We produce shows, and then we have programs that come in throughout the year, and then we do a gala to raise money 1 time a year.
Okay, fantastic. And prior to, was this the first time? Well, I guess the question everybody wants to know is, how did your event go? And was this the first time you've used mobile?
This was the first time in a very long time that we had used mobile. We had done a paddle raise years ago, and it was wildly successful.
Fantastic. So when you're saying paddle raise, so most of the time, most of your events consisted of your like auctions and bidding?
Yes, so we did a bidding. We had a silent auction that used tablets, and then we, in the past, had done a separate raise the paddle in our theater. But this was the first time that we had done a silent auction and then a mobile bidding text to give in our theater.
Okay, wow, I don't usually hear that too often. So you guys did the auction and you decided to do mobile donation as well. Can you explain maybe your thoughts as to why you decided to incorporate text to donate with your auctions?
Sure. So we decided to do both because we normally do a cause within a cause to raise money, and that's where just people who want to just give money can just donate. And we figured if we could get more money out of people, because a lot of people come to our gala and get free tickets through other people who buy a table and just have tickets to give. And those are people, and that's just money left on the table if they don't have, and they don't bid on auction items and they don't win auction items. So we said, oh, well, we can then do a text to give because that's a way that they can give money. And so we simultaneously did a auction, And then in our theater had the text to give, which was the call to action for our educational program.
Wow. Okay. Excellent. I mean, I know what my clients typically tell us in terms of what their fears are, but what was your, what challenges you think you were going to face, or what challenges did you face, or what fears did you have about incorporating mobile fundraising text to donate with especially simultaneously with your auctions? What were those fears?
Our biggest fear was that we were going to capitalize on ourselves and that neither were going to make our goal, because people were going to give money to one or to the other. And that fear went away once we made both of our goals and exceeded them. Our other fear was that people weren't going to know how to text to give. We have an older clientele, and that went away as soon as we announced we were doing a text to give, gave the number, and it rapidly all the money came in. We had an entire script prepared, and we almost didn't even need it. It was kind of funny to watch because the money just came in. It was pouring in, and it was nice to see. But
it was nice.
Yeah, that.
Were you pleasantly surprised? It seems like you're pleasantly surprised that it was working so well. So that's excellent.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I ask how much you guys ended up raising?
We ended up with a final amount of $170,000, and that was without, we had a matching grant of $100,000. So we got our $100,000, and on top of that, $170,000 through text to give.
Give me a second here. I got my jaw just dropped from dropped to the floor here. That is fantastic, especially when it seems like you guys were doing the right thing in terms of doing some type of preparation. You had a script, and you didn't even need it. So you guys did fantastic. But I'm sure there's something that maybe you would have done differently, if at all. Do you have any examples of what you would do differently maybe next year?
We definitely would cut down our script.
Okay.
We definitely we didn't have our names scrolling, which your system can do, and people miss their names, and we want our names people to see their names. So we want to make sure that the system in our thermometer is scrolling.
Gotcha.
And since money was pouring in and it was going so fast, this way, if they miss their name, they can see it. Other than that, we really think we nailed it, and we just want to reenact it next year.
Sounds good. Sounds fantastic. Well, excellent. Yeah, that scrolling feature, you definitely want to turn that on, because it's the tool that's really going to get people excited. So definitely we'll make sure that we remind you to keep that on. And I really wanted to say, do you have any plans next year to maybe do more engagement aside from just the events? Do you think that you'll use text messaging to do anything prior to the event, or how do you typically reach folks that maybe weren't able to be at the event itself?
So anyone that is unable to come to the gala, now that we have this system, we're going to say that they can text in, because we're going to start the campaign earlier. And we are reaching out to donors now through the campaign to let them know about our year end, and using the text messaging, which is a fabulous feature. So it's great.
Excellent. Well, that is really encouraging. And this is, again, just to reiterate, this is the first time you're using mobile fundraising text to donate.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So you guys hit it out of the park. Thank you very much, Taylor, for sharing that. I think that was very helpful for everyone. So thank you again.
Thank you.
All right. So let me see if I can get Sean on the line here. Bear with me one moment. Sean, are you there?
Hi, yep, I'm here.
All right. So Sean is from the Steve Rumler Hope Foundation. So same thing, Sean, can you maybe tell us a little bit about your position, what you do there, and a little bit about your organization?
Sure, absolutely. So we are a small nonprofit based in the Twin Cities in Minnesota. And because we're so small, I actually wear a lot of different hats with the Steve Rumler Hope Foundation. So my primary role would be, I would say, communications, digital marketing, and fundraising and development. So what we do as an organization is we're working to end the opioid crisis that our country and our state is currently facing. So the leading cause of death in the United States for Americans under 50 is overdoses. And the primary factor that's fueling that are opioids. And that includes both prescription pills for pain and illicit drugs like heroin. So that's a little bit about what we're doing to combat that. We have 3 different programs. We do prescriber education, so we film lectures, and we try to train doctors on how to prescribe medications responsibly. We teach them about the disease of addiction. We do that in conjunction with a medical school. And we also do community outreach and public naloxone training. Naloxone is an antidote that reverses an opioid overdose. And lastly, we do advocacy and lobbying.
Wow. Okay. So it seems as if that, I mean, obviously the opioid crisis is, well, it's rampant, right? So your organization has a really strong mandate. You had your event recently. Can you tell us a little bit about, well, first and foremost, was this also your first time using mobile fundraising text to donate?
Yeah, it was.
Okay. And how'd it go? Let us know. Do you find it was successful? What were your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I couldn't be more thrilled with the results that we saw from the text to donate. And this is something, honestly, we've been wanting to do for a long time. We wanted to use a platform to be able to engage our donors and to collect donations through mobile giving, through text messaging, but we also wanted to use text messaging as a form of communicating to our advocates, to our volunteers, and then also to collect demographic information and other data that we then relate to the state of Minnesota. So we are using the Donate platform for all of that. But for our event, we held our event at the end of October, October 27th, which is a Friday. This is our first time holding our gala. We've never done an event like this in the past. And through the text messaging platform alone, we raised like half of our total gross income was just through the text to donate. And so in the gross income, I mean, that includes like ticket sales, auction items, and sponsors. So a lot of the donations that we were receiving were just through texting to give during the event.
Wow. Excellent. Wow, that's fantastic. When you actually did your ask, so it's everyone's sitting down, everybody's, you have everybody's attention. How did you do your ask? Was it a live person? Was there more than one person there? How did that work?
Sure. Yeah, so we promoted this tool through a few different tactics the night of the event. So what we did, and beforehand. So beforehand, revving up to the event, we were telling people about it on social media and through email blasts that we send out. And we also had information on it on our event ticket registration site. So during the event, what we were doing is people were coming in, they would go up to the check-in booth, and they would be handed a program, they'd be given a bid number and their name tag, and the person checking them in would flip open into our program, and in our program, we had a full page that was dedicated to the Text to Give platform, and it showed exactly like what it should look like on your phone, how to do it, step 1, 2, 3, right? And they pointed to that, the check-in volunteer, and would let the person arriving know that that's what they'll be giving this evening. If they had any questions, we had 2 other volunteers staged at the left end of the table and the right end of the table, who are specifically there to help with the donation platform and text to give if anyone has questions. So again, as Taylor mentioned, one of our fears was, are people going to be able to, are they going to know how to use this? I mean, it's so simple, but we also had an older population attending our event, so we wanted to make sure everyone was on the same page on how to do it. So we thought that helped a lot. During the actual event, we did an ask. We had both our MC at the beginning of the night just mention it, and then we had the auctioneer also mention it, and we used it to be for our final giving at the end of the night.
Wow.
So those are the different methods that we were, trying to employ this. And actually, simultaneously, what we had going on is we had pre-scheduled Facebook messages going out. So people sitting at home who were unable to attend the event could text a give from their couch, and they could also link to our screencast and see the thermometer go up, right? So we were engaging with people from home too.
Fantastic. Oh, wow. That's okay. That's excellent. What I'm taking away from that is that you're being proactive in many different ways. You're basically setting you're coaching people as soon as they walk in the door. It's not so much that there's just a little sign somewhere that you hope they see, or maybe a sign on the table. You're letting people know tonight, this is how you're going to donate to us, basically, correct?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
We made it interactive,
Very interactive. Excellent. You had, so you mentioned did you mention 2 MCs or just one?
Well, we had one MC who led a forum and sort of kept the night going, and then we had we had an auctioneer too. She's a stand-up comedian. She's also an auctioneer by trade, and so she was doing a lot of the asks towards the end of the night when she was up doing her thing.
Okay. And was the person that was doing the call to action for the mobile donate, were they part of the organization itself? Did they work in the organization, or was somebody hired outside the organization?
Right. So we had our MC. She is a local news broadcaster with CBS News. So she was our MC, and she was volunteering to be the MC because she's reported on the work that we do a lot here in the Twin Cities. So she volunteered her time. She mentioned it, and then the auctioneer we paid for. So we paid the auctioneer to come in, and she did her thing, and she also did the ask.
Gotcha. I mean, it seems like you guys, obviously you're not new to fundraising itself, but you really embrace the aspect or the concept of text to donate by, again, directing people and letting them know how they're going to donate that evening. So it seems like you guys really took the bull by the horns there. But if this is next year, what would you do differently? I mean, obviously they probably didn't go without a hitch. So what do you think would have been better? What did you learn? What would have been different that you would do differently next year?
Sure. So one of the issues that we're facing is, how are we going to have people in the room engaged? We wanted to use the text to donate platform as the primary donation source and platform for the entire evening, and that includes the final asks at the end of the night, right? When we start really high and then we go lower, it's going to give 2,000. Do I have whatever 1,500? And one thing that was difficult is how are we going to have the energy in the room maintain and stay high? So I mean, this year we did a pretty good job of doing it. What we did is we had people raising their cards, right? Their bid numbers. We weren't actually even tracking the bid numbers, but what that signaled is a volunteer a spotter to walk over to that person and then coach them through the text to donate platform. And for those individuals who were still having issues or maybe didn't have a phone, we had a system in place for that too, where we were, me and another staff member were manually entering in donations that were coming through that way as well.
Okay.
And then we would send out those text messages later, right, to the people who made pledges and
Right.
actually complete the donation process. So next year, I think we're going to try to get a little bit more creative on how we can continue to keep that energy really high in the room. The other thing too is we were asking people to text in the keyword followed by their pledge, followed by their bid number.
Okay.
And that's what was displayed on the screen. And so I think, honestly, it was too many numbers.
Okay.
We have, when you think about it, right? So we have Hope 123 is our keyword. So we were telling people text Hope 123, but they were giving $100. Hope 123 100, bid number 256 to 56512. That's a lot. So I think that was a little cumbersome. So we're gonna redo it next year too. But other than that, I mean, it honestly went a lot better than I had ever even expected. So,
Excellent. Excellent. I'm glad to hear that. Especially, I think when we have these conversations, sometimes we have guest speakers that, you know, they've used mobile fundraising text to donate several times, and they've kind of worked out the kinks, and they know what to do. But I think it's really important for especially organizations that this is their first foray into texting and mobile and things of that nature, to understand, to kind of get a perspective of a first-time user. So thanks for sharing that with us. And can you tell me a little bit more now? You're using our text messaging engagement part of it. Can you tell me a little bit about what you're using that for specifically, just the texting part of it?
Yeah. So, okay. So we have two different keywords, right? So we have the Hope 123. That's the keyword that we use for our screencast and to collect donations. And we're using this far beyond just this event alone. So now we're in our year-end app. And what we're doing is we're resetting the screencast. So the thermometer is going to start over at 0. We've had an anonymous donor come in and match all donations to the end of the year up to $15,000. We're leveraging that, and we're doing a huge online push. But in community, when we're out doing public naloxone trainings and education, you know, almost every day of the week, we are coaching people in those classes to text to donate and to help us reach our year-end goal, right? And our program, I mean, it's really heart-touching, and I mean, it's really moving. And so I think by the end of our training sessions, people are really moved to want to give back and want to do something about this. And so we're going to be rolling that out starting next week. So that's how we're going to continue to use it. And then the other side is a second keyword. So we use Save 123 to be able to collect data that we then report to the state of Minnesota Department of Health and Human Services. And what that looks like is on all of our naloxone bags that we give out, those opioid overdose rescue pouches, we have what is printed on there. It says, when used, text Save 123 to 56512. So when someone uses this naloxone kit, whether it's a first responder, you know, paramedic, policeman, or if it's someone in community, or if it's someone in a hospital, when someone is using a naloxone kit to reverse an opioid overdose, and if they text in, use that keyword to text in, they're sent back a reply. And what that reply is, I have it up here. It says, you indicated a naloxone kit has been used. Please complete survey at, and then we have a bit.ly link, which is a shortened link. And that link goes to a survey, an online survey. And they complete that, we can collect that data, and then we can report it back to the state of Minnesota. We were doing pre-stamped postcards with the questionnaire that were in all of our kits. but over 3 years of running this program, we had maybe received 2 postcards. So we
Right.
think that using the Text to Give platform is going to be much more engaging. It's so much easier. And let's say someone were to text in and they get back this questionnaire, they decide they don't want to complete it.
Right.
We can at least go through our mobile donate platform, and we have reporting available right there. So we can at least see, okay, they might have not filled out all the demographic information, but we can see 400 people texted in, right? 400 of our kits have been used, and we can give that information back to the state of Minnesota. So we're looking forward to rolling that out too. We'll be rolling that out probably early December.
You know, to say the least, it seems like you're really digging in and getting pretty granular with not just the mobile donate side, but the mobile our text messaging engagement. So I'm really happy to hear that. So thank you so much, Sean, for sharing that with us. We really do appreciate that.
Oh, absolutely, anytime.
All right. So I broke my promise. I'm sorry, everyone. It's been 35 minutes. I try to keep this under 30, so I do apologize. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask. So I'm getting a question right now: is what is the cost? So the cost, everything is on our website here, but the mobile donate. Let's see if I can pull this up here. Let's see here. I just want to pull it up so everybody can get there and they can take a look at it at their leisure. If you go to givebuysell.com, you click on pricing, the pricing is right there. So the mobile donate that we've been talking about here, it's $1,500 for a single event, which is 1 month, or $2,000 for 12-month use. And again, I'm not going to touch on every little thing here because all of you can go ahead and take a look at it yourself. The mobile give, which is the phone billing on the donor option, that's a little different because there's the application fee you have to send to the Mobile Give Foundation. There's also a transaction fee on that, but typically you're going to look at around $1,308 a year on that, or $109 per month. The mobile pledge for a single event, it does have its own setup: $250 and $750 per event, or $250 and $1,500 for the year. Again, you can go on our website to check that out. Our pricing is we're pretty transparent in that regard. So, but we always want to make sure that we give people the options to really try as many of our services as possible. Because you're going to find out, hey, maybe mobile donate is great, but maybe pledge is, a better way for us to go. So just give them a shot, try the services, and see what works best for you. So any other questions here? Let's see. And again, just to reiterate, earlier when I was speaking, the way we've grown our business is basically recognizing that we are working with nonprofits and we are working with charities. So we do want to do our best to lower the barrier to entry for you folks to try our mobile services. It's in our best interest to have you maybe do some customization packages, maybe bundling mobile donate and pledge, or donate and fundraising thermometer. We just want to give you the easiest way, or lower that barrier to entry, so you can start using our services. Because we feel as if once you start using it, you'll learn very quickly what's going to work, what's not going to work, where you want to concentrate your efforts to. So let's see if we have any other questions here. Okay. All right, so I'm not seeing any other questions. I've kept this on, kept everybody on longer than we expected. I apologize for that, but I want to say thank you to our guest speakers, Taylor and Sean. They did not have to do this. They took time out of their busy schedule to really share their story with everyone, and hopefully everyone got some valuable information from that. So thank you so much to them. And I want to say thank you to everybody here for attending. We really appreciate the time I know you guys are all busy, and feel free to reach out to us for any additional questions, or if you want a one-on-one conversation, reach out to any of us. And contact if your salesperson or the rep that reached out to you to do reminders of the webinar. Feel free to reach out to them. But I'm going to end the call. Just want to say thank you, and have a great day. Bye, everyone.